Hi, and welcome to Strap a Watch. I'm Michael Knapp, Michael Knapp Leather. I don't know how well you guys can see it, but I've got a whole cutting table full of alligator skins and different types of leathers. And that's what today's episode is going to be all about. The second half of today's show is what I'm going to be putting together separately for my website as a FAQ, frequently asked questions video, because I am bombarded with questions daily via email, typically either through my contact form on my website or just directly emailing me. Some people even text me questions. So this video is hopefully to answer those questions that we're going to be covering. You know, what is the difference between Chromexcel and shell Cordovan? Why do I use these different types of shell Cordovans? Horween, Shinki Hikaku, Rocado. Why do I use North American Alligator and not Cayman or Nile Croc or some other croc, hornback or whatever? What types of linings do I use? What are the pads made out of? What's the difference of the thickness of the pads? And the basic overall constructions. How many layers are there to your traditional strap? So that's what this second half is going to cover to answer all those questions. I think it's going to be very informative if you're looking at either getting into leather crafting, watch strap making, or you're looking for a leather watch strap. This way you're going to learn a lot. So stick around after the intro. We'll get right into it. So what we're going to talk about first off, and we're going to work our way from the bottom up, are the lining leathers. Okay, so I'm going to grab the three different lining leathers that I have right here. And these two right here are Zermatt. I'm not 100% sure how you pronounce that. It's Zermatt, calfskin linings. So this is what I use. You've seen me use this a lot. And then this is a very other high-end box calf that I utilize for black straps. So if you're ordering a black alligator, black shell Cordovan, black Chromexcel, these are the linings that I make. This is what I make the linings out of right here, this box calf. And calfskin is just a tremendous leather to utilize for linings. It's very soft, very supple, doesn't wear as much as other leathers. It's super water resistant, sweat resistant, doesn't create the kind of creasing you see in a lot of other leathers over time. It's just a fantastic leather for the purposes of linings of watch straps. It really is. So next thing we'll look at are the pads. I get this question all the time. What do you make pads out of? This is just a little cutout. I have a huge piece of this in my storage area on the other side of the studio. And what it is, it's tempered vegetable tan leather. It's super soft, super pliable, super bendable. Okay, really soft. That's about 5-6 ounce. Perhaps about 3.5-4 millimeters. And what I do is I'll cut these out, and it's per each side of the watch strap. So it's the sandwich pad that goes in here. I also call it a spine that goes in between the upper, so in this case is black alligator, and the lining underneath. So when I cut these out, then what I do, depending on what you've ordered, is I skive it down to either 2.5 or 1.5, and I have it taper. So it's thicker up here and it gets thinner as you go down until the point where you don't even feel it right in this area, right about at the bend of the whole wrist, at the sides of your wrists. Okay, so that's what the pads are made out of. I get this question a lot. Next we'll look at, with certain watches, what I'll be doing is putting in kind of a spacer leather. Not on all straps, but on a lot of straps. Okay, it really depends on the thickness of the leather, the size of the wrist, the size of the watch head, the thickness of the watch head. The thicker the watch head, let's say it's 13 millimeters plus, definitely gonna get a lining in between to give the strap a little bit more mass. And this will also get tapered down, so it's thicker up here to thinner down here by the point end and where the buckle attaches or the deployant clasp attaches. So, and it's also a calf skin leather, and then there's sometimes I use that strictly because it's a little bit thicker piece than the Zermatt's. It's a box calf that I can use it for the lining. So it works out great. So next we'll look at Shell Cordovan. All right. My favorite of all leathers, really, next to alligator. But, you know, I have every color, and so we'll go through these real quick. This is black Horween Shell Cordovan. You can see I've had some orders out of this. Actually, very popular Horween Shell Cordovan. All right, so that's black. This is actually black Rocado. I do not currently have this listed on the website. I don't know why. I guess when I reincorporated the new website a few months ago, it just didn't get transferred over, and I'll have to create a page for that. So this is black Rocado Shell Cordovan. This is deep blue Horween Shell Cordovan. I use this on Jim's pocket watch wallet that I made for his Elgin pocket watch. You guys saw that episode. This is this is cognac brown Horween Shell Cordovan, yeah. And then this is one of my most popular colors. This is my second chip that's called, and this is Shinki Hikaku Camel Tan. And you see that 18 number right there? What that stands for is 1.8 square feet. So all Shell Cordovan is sold by the square foot, and it's very, very, very expensive. This is Italian Rocado tan Shell Cordovan. All right. And then I have 3 chips of the Shinki Hikaku deep blue, dark blue, deep blue. It's really beautiful. This is one of my most popular, and what happened is I ran out of it this past summer, and I never wanted to run out of it again, so I bought 3 chips of it. This one's quite large. I think this is a 2.5, 25 right there. You see that 25? That means 2.5 square feet. This was $375 just for that chip. So what Shell Cordovan is, you got to think of it as the kind of the rump and top hip area of a horse. It's actually made of horse hide. So it's a very select, specific piece of the horse. And then, like with Shinki Hikaku, this is another piece of Shinki Hikaku. This is a whiskey, and this is Horween. So with Shinki Hikaku, it takes them a year to tan this leather. That's why it's so expensive. It is hand rubbed daily. It is infused with all of these different waxes and oils with not just the dyes, but it's an amazing leather. That's why it's the Rolls Royce of leather. It just takes so long to process to make it. This is actually a number 8 Burgundy Horween Shell Cordovan. Green, somebody with a Hulk. This would be great. Shell Cordovan by Horween. And this is Bourbon Tan Horween Shell Cordovan. And then lastly, the cherry red Shinki Hikaku. So I made Saul's watch strap out of this. You can go back and watch that episode. And I had another order of this recently with no lining. And so it's really, really amazing piece. It really is. Love that. I want to make one for myself. Next, we'll get into Chromexcel. Chromexcel that I use is by Horween. So right here you can see it says Horween USA. Okay, and this is a dark brown Chromexcel leather right here, hide. This is a half of a hide. This too is horsehide, very water resistant. Takes Horween 28 days to tan this leather. Uses all 5 floors of the Horween tannery. It's considered a pull-up leather. So if you bend this leather, it lightens in color. It's turning a real kind of light tan there. And when you release the bend, the color will end up coming back to dark brown. That's called pull-up leather. So Horween really invented that process of the pull-up leather. And this is one of the most famous colors, number 8 burgundy. Horween, you can see I've made a ton of straps out of this. Very popular. Okay, and then this is black. And it has a little bit of a wax film on it. That's a protectant. Okay, so these are all Horween Chromexcel leathers. These are the 3 different colors that I have to offer. And so that's the difference between shell Cordovan and Chromexcel. Shell Cordovan is from a specific area of the horse, kind of the rump and hip area of a horse. It takes, like I said, 6 months to tan at Horween, a year at Shinki Hikaku. That's why Shinki Hikaku costs more. And Shinki Hikaku, in my personal opinion, after working with leathers for over 30 years, is the ultimate. It's the best of the absolute best there is in the world. The difference is with Chromexcel is it takes 28 days as opposed to, so 1 month, as opposed to 6 months to a year. So you can see the differences. It's not that, this is not high quality. It's very high quality. It's just that's the difference between the two. And both of these leathers, actually even all 3 with the linings, very water resistant. A lot of your biker jackets, that leather jackets that are really kind of higher end or horsehide. Okay, just horsehide is very well known as being super water resistant. Now, watch straps, no, they're not waterproof. But if you're getting one, you want it to last a long time. You know, I always say if you're getting one, get a good one. Get something that is going to last a long time. It is robust. It is going to weather, you know, moisture-related issues and sweat and rain and whatever, getting, you know, splashed on or dropped in water or whatever. You don't want it to be completely ruined. And there's a lot of other leathers that is what would happen. So next we'll get into some of the alligator skins. I've got several here, so I'll just get them out on the table. We'll go through them. This is Egyptian blue. It's a light blue, beautiful skin. Okay, so you can see that. And then of course I have red alligator, orange alligator. This is the Millennium Peanut Tan. This is the most expensive piece of leather I've ever purchased, $1,500. Now, I had cut this in half. You saw me do this on one of my builds recently. But this is a flawless piece of gator. And let me explain to you guys the difference in the grading systems of alligator. So, alligator skins are graded 1 through 5, okay? This is a grade 1. Grade 1s are the most expensive. And the way it's graded isn't so much just by the quality, it's the size of the scales. So you can see these scales are quite small compared to this orange. Now this orange I got on sale. This was a grade 2. I did not buy this to actually make watch straps, though I've made a couple of watch straps out of this orange, one for Alice and one for another gentleman. And you have to utilize where the scales are smaller, like in the head area. Okay, that's where I cut Allison's out. The other 2 are back here. So I had actually bought this orange for Florida Gator products. You know, Florida Gator colors are blue and orange. I live down here in Florida and the gators are really big, and and just the fans are not able to get out and get together, so they had no infrastructure to be able to sell any of this yet, hopefully next year. So most of all of the Alligator that I purchase is grade 1, or what's called 1/2. It's like 1.5 is really kind of what that is. This is tobacco brown. I've got a little bit of that left. And then black, of course. I've got a lot of black, actually. I've even got more tucked away. These are the Royal Midnight Blues. I've got a few other pieces of this as well. I bought it when this past spring, and before I was dyeing it, and then I found this, and it's worked out very well, and it's super popular, so that's why I have to keep it in stock. And then this is dark brown Alligator. So, and then also tobacco brown. Okay, tobacco brown. So I got light brown, this is the tobacco brown. Why do I choose North American Alligator? And I already explained the grading that I really stick with, you know, grade 1 or 1/2s. But North American Alligator is actually very supple, okay? It really is. It bends easily, as you can see. That's one of the big differences. Like when you get into this very expensive, perfect hide, it's so much just like regular leather. So that's why you can't really use hornback. It's just so thick and tough, and it's hard to cut through. It's not comfortable to wear. Yeah, it can be kind of cool the way it looks on top, but man, working with it is a real pain. And I think after a while, even somebody that owns it, it would be kind of a pain even to be wearing it. Cayman is another species out of Central America and is very prone to cracking. It's, you know, especially over time. Gator is not. North American Alligator, the species that I utilize. Nile croc is also pretty nice for watch straps. The thing is, it's porous, and North American Alligator is not. So it's much more water resistant. Yet another reason. It holds the dyes in its color very well. And over time, yeah, it will create this patina look to it that I think is pretty cool. But you can always add more color. So with the porousness of a lot of your crocs, like your Nile croc, to me, just personally, it's not as good to utilize for watch straps. Maybe for some other products, but not really for watch straps. Watch straps, you want as water resistant as you're gonna get, and especially because, you know, all people after a while, especially with a leather strap, you sweat. And it's the salt in the sweat that really does the damage over time. So with these, what you can do is just with a damp cloth, put some water on there, wipe it down to get the salt off. So if it's porous, all that's going into the inside leather of the strap. You see what I'm getting at? So that's the difference and why I choose North American Alligator. I hope these answers, you know, this answers a lot of your different frequently asked questions. And, you know, if you have any additional questions, please feel free to contact me. But now you understand, you know, a little bit more of the process and why I've chosen these leathers, as they are the absolute, in my personal and professional opinion, the best in the world. Well, thanks for joining me today. God bless you all. And until next time, keep on ticking.